chance doesn't explain anything. It's a non-explanation. It's not a scientific concept. It is not useful. It's simply saying that there is no explanation. Why is there coffee in this cup? By chance. No, that doesn't explain how it got there, why it is.
So do you believe in accidents?
Depends what you mean by accidents.
Well, chance occurrences.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes things happen in life where we can see that there was a very logical progression from something that we might have been connected with, and therefore things have happened. If I've offended someone, and then sometime later I'm in a situation where they have a chance to take
that?
retribution.
Are you classifying that as an accident?
No, that wouldn't be an accident. I can actually see the connections back.
Yes.
But at the same time, there may be things which, for all intents and purposes, it might be as well just say, I don't understand, I can't see the connections, and if I term it an accident, I'm not saying that there was no cause, I'm just saying I can't see it.
Yeah.
And I might actually make more mistakes trying to see the rationale. Just because, if you say, well, everything must have a reason and a purpose, but that doesn't mean we're naturally going to be able to see it all the time. And sometimes we can make more mistakes trying to see what's behind something than just saying, well, okay.
Except that if you, just hear me out on this, if you take the view that everything, and I mean literally everything, happens for a reason, then it's much easier, I've found, not to beat yourself up about it. So even if, because the classic example is, or one of the classic examples, as you know, I've always said we create our own reality. And you talk to people about this and they say, well, yes, I agree with you. And then if something happens, let's say their son is crossing the road, and I don't want to give a bad example, but the son is crossing the road, and let's say he's hit by a bike, right? He didn't create that. That was the bike's fault, okay? And that's where it gets tough for most people, because when something like that happens, it's suddenly it's not us, it's the other thing. It's like tripping over and falling over in the road, or breaking your ankle or something like that, breaking your leg. That was not me, it was that flagstone, etc. Now I'm exaggerating just to make the point. But so far as I'm concerned, there can be no halfway house. It's all or nothing. It's all or nothing. And if you believe it, then, we don't have to waste so much energy and time blaming other people, or, taking away the responsibility from ourselves and say, well, okay, well, I created that. Now, I may not know the reason, and it may not be important for me to know the reason. There's no, necessity, there's no obligation
That is the crucial qualification.
But allowing it to be, to be accepted as part of your, if you like, life experience.
Yes. I think that the crucial aspect, and this is true, in Hinduism, obviously there's a concept of karma, that ultimately everything, there is a reason, there is a rationale, and ultimately that rationale links back to us in some previous situation. Yeah. But the caveat to that is, you're not going to be able to work it out exactly how, when, where, why,
Sure.
and therefore don't try to analyze it like that.
Well, is that, I don't know, Martin, is that a limiting belief?
Well,
it is.
The point is that you have to be able to accept that at certain times you might see a connection, you might be able to sense, what's actually coming back to me, and at other times you won't. You just have to accept that that's right, and you don't have to beat yourself up on this, because it's in as much as we might be able to intuit something, we also have to recognize that sometimes the mind can be imaginative.
Or get in the way. Yeah.
And come up with fanciful ideas that it thinks is, I understand.
Yeah, because it'll associate it with something that's happened in the past.
Because, I was rude to my father when I was a kid or something. You know, and it's coming back. You know, you can get really weird. You can really screw yourself up, and you can just actually create more illusions in your life.
No, but only if you linger, only if you dwell on it. I could say that very thing. It may seem outrageous and stupid to most people, but if I said, well, okay, you spilling that glass of water now is actually something relates to what happened when I was 4 years old, right? Fine. Whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter. It's the awareness, right? That awareness may be intuitive, it may be other.
Yeah.
The point is not to dwell on it. Not to dwell on it and think, oh shit, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, and what am I going to do, and blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
That's the point.
Yeah.
So to allow for the reason that there is a reason, maybe, that for what happened, whether it's karmic, whether it's related to anything at all, but not to dwell on it.
Not to dwell on it.
Accept
and to actually accept that, you know, there may be some things I won't understand fully, and I won't recognise the causes and the reasons behind everything. Doesn't mean it doesn't have a reason. You see, we're always wanting to be black and white. If there's a reason, I have to know it.
Yeah, no, that's the mind.
You know, actually, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, just because something happened for a reason doesn't mean I will be able to discern that. I may or may not.
Or even worse, why did that happen to me?
Yeah.
To go into poor me victim mode, you know, which is one of the most debilitating things you can do.
Yeah.
That's, you know, that's a real.
So a little
no-no.
bit, you know, these concepts are useful, but only if you're willing to be humble and actually accept that I may not know all the answers, and I don't have to have a fixed or definite answer.
I slightly disagree with that they are useful for the reason I've said. If you can believe in them, right, it's much easier to, you know, accept what's gone on as being part of you. You know, no one else is to blame,
that's fine.
And to not dwell on it. So if you take,
but that's
what
not,
you do, you take away
that's
this
stopping
sort of
short of torturing yourself in that I have to know exactly why, you know, and I have to kind of get down to the nitty gritty of it. I don't think
for that very reason, because it's like a technique to prevent that torture, to prevent the sort of beating up, the self-criticism. You know, oh shit, you know, why did I go into that road and trip over that flagstone? You know, I normally go the other way, but today I went this way, and then beat yourself up for it remorselessly and you know, blame the doctors or whatever it is. I mean, you know, it goes on and on. The drama that you talked about earlier, forget it. You know, but accept it and say, okay, well, that happened to me. You know, it happened for a reason. I don't know what the reason is. Carry on with your life. Not easy, but do it. You know, try it.